Hello everybody, how are we doing today? Just want to give you thanks for watching my video. And today I'll be reviewing the 2011 G37X as shown. As you can see, this is the Ultima from one of my first review videos, and it's kind of an understatement, but it's been a while since I've done my last video review, which was on the Mercedes E350, which we recently traded in about a month ago for this beauty, which is shown in Moonlight White. And a stone gray interior. Just a very, very nice, elegant, and well-aged car. Overall, in my opinion, that still carries a lot of modern technology. Even the same engine and available all-wheel drivetrain as this year's current Q50. It's basically the same car as the Q40. Let me go ahead and open the hood and talk about some of the engine and performance specs. And what you just saw there was a smart remote key activation, which you can lock and unlock like that, or you can just do it by button. Hope I don't burn my hand. Yeah, it's very, very well thermally controlled. Over here is the VQ37VHR V6 engine. This is the new brother of the former VQ35HR, which is in the 3.5 Ultimas and in the Maximas. Except this one, obviously from the number in its name, has a 3.7 liter V6 and produces 328 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. This engine also, what I really like is it offers not one, but dual air filters. You really do feel a performance difference in this car. It feels a lot sportier and a lot more aggressive than some of Nissan's different cars, and even its luxury car competitors, especially between brands like Mercedes and Lexus. And I can't even tell you just how different this car drives from a Mercedes, honestly. But as I'm someone who likes a sporty ride, this thing drives like a dream for me. Let me go ahead and get the engine started up. You probably weren't able to see, but when you start the car up, or when you put your key fob into this entry port here, your seat will automatically bring you back to your desired driving position, which I find really, really, really nice, because when you want to get out, the seat will automatically move back, so you'll have a lot more knee and leg room to move out. Also, considering that the current setting I'm on actually has me very well snug in this car, a lot you even tight. It feels a little tighter than my Juke does, honestly, because there's not a lot of headroom. Nevertheless, just an absolute joy to drive. It's just got very, very, very high quality materials in this thing. I can really feel the difference and feel like this is a luxury car, and not just a rebranded Nissan. It's a completely different animal, honestly. Screen here that you see is what you get if you don't get the navigation package. As you can see, you don't have a navigation button here, but still works great nonetheless, because this is a premium packaged G37X, which means you get the Bose 6-speaker audio as shown, and get a nice moonroof, which makes for a pretty premium ride, if you ask me. It's very, very nice. And on days, during these days when everybody has smartphones with Google Maps and navigation apps, you don't really need navigation as much. So my family and I figured that we could opt for the G37X without the nav package, which I feel like is a pretty good option, considering you can still get Sirius XM on here, and it's not required as a car would usually require that for a navigation, with a navigation package. Just comes standard with it. And also, what I really like, let me show you something. When you switch it to reverse, you get a standard rear view camera, which works really well, because when you steer, it gives you the predicted trajectory. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it gives you the predicted pathway. That's what I meant to say, that your car is going to back up, and which really came in handy for me today as I was leaving from a really big event of like 20,000 people coming in and out, and they were blocking the way so much. In this car also, what I really liked was it not only showed a really good view of of what was behind me, but it also beeped, and it also gave like beep patterns that corresponded to how close or how far people were behind me. And I thought that was really cool, honestly. It would give a slow beep if they were really far. Beep would get faster if they were getting closer, and it would just become a solid ring if they were right behind the car. And I thought that was incredibly helpful, that not only that they made this a rear view camera standard car, but also gave it parking sensors. I just thought that was really amazing. And also, just a couple fun facts about this car I wanted to talk about was just how well they engineered this car. Honestly, I forgot to open the hood. It's kind of crucial to what I'm about to show you. That beeping means the key has left the interior of the vehicle, by the way. As you can see here, I'm going to move to the side so you get a better idea. You can see the engine is not pushed closer to the front of the car like most cars would. They pushed it as close to the back of the hood as possible so that this car could have a better weight distribution, considering this is a very, very high center of mass and gravity in any car. It's the engine, which I really thought was very innovative. And to be honest, I really felt the difference when driving this car in corners as opposed to the Altima. And I'm not saying the Altima is a bad car, but I'm saying this is definitely better for high performance driving. Also, what I liked is the steering is very, very heavy on this car. Very heavy. There's only You know, there's a very traditional hydraulic power steering that comes with this car, and it, you know, when you're in tight spaces or in a parking lot, it doesn't feel that great. But once you're on the road and you really push this car, you thank it every moment that you're flooring your gas. Honestly, it really helps you feel very, very engaged with a driving experience. Also, as you can see, not only on this car, but on pretty much all Infinitis, you can see that they made sure to incorporate a very bulbous hood design, and they do that so in the unfortunate event of hitting someone or a pedestrian, that this person would be more likely to roll onto the hood, which would give them much a higher chance of surviving, as opposed to hitting a very flat and non-bulbous front end, which would, you know, most likely either, you know, crush them with the, you know, with the amount of force such a flat surface would produce, or, you know, in worst case scenarios, it would get them swept under the car. And I mean, you know the rest. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but it's just really cool things like that Infiniti is incorporated, as well as self-healing paint. And I know there's a scratch on here that you can't really, you know, it used to be pretty evident, but you can't, like, you can see it a lot less now. Yeah, this one used to be a solid black, and now I can barely get to show up on the camera. It's just a really good example of how much detail Infiniti put into this car. And honestly, I can really speak a lot for this statement when I say this, because I am a finishing mechanical engineer right now. They held nothing back when engineering this car. This is why I put this as such a high recommendation for my family to buy one of these. Also, what I really like, let me go ahead and switch the headlights on from auto, which are standard on this car, by the way. You get the glorious xenon fog standard combo on the G37x, which on this G facelift from 2010 and above just looks absolutely glorious. And it's not it's not night right now, but if it was, I would have been able to show you guys just how amazingly this car lights up the street at night. And I mean, I was just done driving this thing on back roads, you know, from the middle of nowhere, and I was able to see everything, honestly. And you know, the high beams, I believe this is a bi-xenon headlamp setup. Yep, this is with high beams on. Yeah, I mean, you can really, I mean, honestly, at night you really see the difference the xenon high beams give you at night. Honestly, it's just a very adaptable car. Honestly, it's very versatile, and it still rides very stylishly. I mean, it's very hard to find something to complain about this car for. I mean, Consumer Reports gave this car a 95. I mean, how many cars have gotten that rating from Consumer Reports? I mean, that's tremendous, honestly. There are very, very few cars who beat that score, honestly. I guess right here, yeah, here you can, I don't know how well you can see because of the sunlight, but this button here allows you to switch through the different functions of the head display. And these are for the I forgot the dashboard gauge control brightnesses, and this here is just to, you know, give you some extra navigation room when using the overhead console. Here's the back seat, which is honestly pretty roomy. I like it. I mean, this is a compact sports sedan. You will notice that it is a bit tighter than the Altima there, but that's because this car is about as long as the Altima, but they made more space in the engine bay to accommodate the 370Z engine, which in all honesty, I have to say is very, very worth it. All right, I guess without further ado, I can give you an exhaust clip. Go ahead and do this one without rolling the windows. God, that's awesome. Does a very, for a big engine, it does a very good job eliminating torque steer, honestly. I'm very impressed. I'm gonna give that another go. God, that's epic. That is really epic. Do it with an open window this time. I don't know if it'll make a difference. Yeah, no, that definitely makes a difference. That hollow Infiniti signature exhaust makes an Infiniti, honestly, in my opinion. It just, I mean, that thing howls like a desert wolf. It's awesome. It's a tremendous luxury car. I don't even want to discredit it by calling it a luxury car. It's a premium sports sedan. That's the best way to describe this car. It's really, really good. And, you know, with that said, it surprises me that, just how many, I guess you can call them soccer moms drive these. I don't find this a very soccer mom car. I would have expected like a Lexus RX 350 to be more popular, or I mean, even the FX is a stretch, but not this car. No, this is a very, very, very bold, serious car. It does not mess around, honestly. And I don't know, just felt like I kind of wanted to throw that little bit in there. Yeah, I guess if you guys here, let me go ahead and do a little demonstration on the audio system. Yeah, right now this EQ is set for mid treble and mid bass, I believe. Yeah, it's almost maxed out. Who am I kidding? I'd say this is about perfect, honestly. If you like listening to really like punchy music, that's a really good setting on here. But nonetheless, it's a really, really good audio system, honestly, and frankly, it's worth the extra searching for the premium package. Honestly, I mean, to me, honestly, I would never buy an Infiniti or a Nissan without their premium audio packages. They do such a great job on those. Honestly, like even the Juke has the Rockford Fosgate audio with the 6 premium speakers and the subwoofer. Even that is one of my favorite car audio systems. Honestly, it's tremendous, and I feel like it really characterizes the Juke, just like this the simple yet elegant sounding 6-speaker Bose system characterizes the simple yet elegant design of the G37. I guess before I end this review, I could share a bit of performance stats. Again, I mentioned it's a 328 horsepower car with a 269 pound-feet of torque, if I'm correct. And that not to 60 will get this car, or it will get you not to 60, and I want to say like the low 5 seconds. The lowest I've seen was 5.1, and that's really fast. And again, that's what I was talking about. Why a lot of people who drive this car actually don't take a lot of advantage of the performance. And a lot of people I see driving this car drive slowly. And this car, when you drive it, it's a very, it wants to move very quickly. And I mean, I'm a guy who drives a Juke, and that car is, I mean, that car likes to go fast. That car likes to work hard, and this car is very much like it, except you got a 328 horsepower engine as opposed to 188 horsepower. And it just really surprises me with the, with the buyer market, honestly, for this car. But hey, I mean, live and let live. People have their preferences, and to be honest, I mean, design alone, I would get this car. I mean, it's just flat out gorgeous, very solid, very fast, and frankly, on the highway, I get really good gas mileage on this thing. Like, they say 25 miles a gallon for the all-wheel drive. I've seen myself get 30 miles a gallon on the highway. Even like if you drive on like a back road, you'll get like between 30 and 40, which is really good. I really like this car. It's a very, very solid choice. And if you get it used, which my family and I did, I mean, you can get these under $25,000. And this came, this is after a lot of driving this month. When we got this car, it had about 1,000 miles less. So it was at 8,500 miles when we bought it. And we got it before trade-in for like about 23,000, I want to say. And, for the condition, it's absolutely wonderful. Honestly, like I had a really hard time finding flaws. Honestly, like, it was just that one scratch that I found, literally. It's a very, very solid car, honestly. And, for almost any purpose, honestly, you could drive this car. But just keep in mind that this is based off a 370Z, which is a very, very traditionally sporty car. So you're going to get a lot of that sport DNA carrying into this. So just keep that in mind in your test drive if you feel like it's aggressive. I mean, that can always be fixed by just putting into regular drive and, not having a lead foot, and it'll drive normally. But, once you put in the sport mode, which actually I forgot to talk about a little bit. I love this sport mode. It feels very, 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 very solid. And it feels very high quality, along with the rest of the shifter. But it's an absolute joy to drive, especially with a downshift rev matching. This thing just really knocks its competitors out of the water, especially for the price. Like, when you look at like an IS Lexus, for example, yeah, I mean, you got like just over 300 horsepower, and you got like a mid 5-second 0 to 60. But with this, you get that extra power, the extra 20-something horsepower, and it makes a very big difference. And that's because Lexus, they basically use a modified 3.5 liter Toyota V6. What I like about Infiniti also is that they don't base their cars off Altimas like Lexus does, Camrys or Avalons. The Infiniti gets their stuff from the 370Z, and the all-wheel drivetrain I heard was from the GTR, because it works just like it. They said it's the Atessa all-wheel drive, which is what's in here actually, and that's what I really like about them. They get a really good value, and they use very high quality parts in these cars, honestly. And anyone who tells you otherwise, really, I don't believe did their research very well. I've done like, years worth of research, honestly. Not one, but multiple years of research on Infinitis. They're very hard to beat, honestly. Well, I just, before I close my video, I just wanted to thank everyone for watching my video. And hope this helps, and good luck hunting for your next new car. See you.